What up, G Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share if possible because it does help out my channel. Don't forget to check out the playlist. The playlist will have all my videos, and don't forget to make the video you're looking for a lot easier. And don't forget to click on the subscribe and the like. It's free, it don't cost anything. You'll be helping my channel out a lot, get in the algorithm. So I would highly appreciate it if you guys were to just tap on it, you know what I mean? Now, what I wanted to talk about today, but before we get into it, to those who have been asking me about the whole China Mac and AD and all that stuff, I won't be discussing it on my channel. I don't do gossip on my channel. No offense to those who do cover that kind of stuff. It's just that I personally don't do the gossip or get into other people's business because it's none of my business. You know what I mean? Not only that, but I don't even follow stuff like that. Like, I'm not a fan of No Jumper. No disrespect to them. I just don't like their content. It's not for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, to me to be diving into all that stuff, it's like, you know, when I really don't even be, you know, watching none of that. So I won't be discussing it here, you know, with all respect, you know. Now, but what I did want to talk about was another question I have been getting asked is, women gangsters, girl cholas, or, you know, the misconception and stuff like that. You know, because people say, do people take them seriously? Or are they just like sluts that sleep around with, are they there just to satisfy the homies and stuff like that? So, you know, we're here to break all of that down. Now, that is the misconception that there are sex toys and stuff like that, when that is not the case. You know what I mean? That's farther from the truth. You know what I mean? See, people often get female gangsters confused with like, just like, I guess, like girls that just hang out right there that are looking to party and, you know, sleep around and stuff like that. There's a difference, you know what I mean, from that and an actual homegirl from the hood. You know what I mean? You know, because although it looked like, you know, these females are right there partying, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're from the hood. You know what I mean? And then you do have some that are from the hood, you know, and so there's a difference between the two of them. But I think people just see it as a whole, and that's why often the misconception happens, you know, where they get them confused. And also, you know, you have other women that hate on other women, you know what I mean? They don't like, you know, especially like if, like, let's say they're dating, you know, one of those, and then their homegirls are there, they're gonna see them as like sluts or whatever, when that's not the case. You know what I mean? That's more of a jealousy thing than anything else. Because homegirl from the neighborhood is given the utmost respect, just like a male is given the utmost respect. You know what I mean? You treat the homegirls like you do a homeboy. You know what I mean? You wouldn't backstab a homie, so you wouldn't backstab a homegirl. You wouldn't do the homie wrong, so you're not gonna do the homegirl wrong. You know what I mean? So they're seen just like as another member, so you give them that amount of respect. You know, they're not seen as any less just because they're females. You get what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, often people get that confused and think that they're just there to like satisfy or whatever. A woman could be your greatest weapon, and it could be your greatest weakness at the same time when we're talking about women from the neighborhood, because you have women could be idolized for a lot of things. You know what I mean? To set vatos up, you know, enemigos, you know what I mean? You know, to flirt with them, befriend them, and then, you know, set them up, pretty much. You know what I mean? They're also idolized, you know, to you know, hold or transfer, you know, firearms or any of that other type, you know, because cops tend to look at a male more than they do an actual female. You know, low pro purposes as well, also for surveillance, you know, maybe cruising around telling, yeah, the enemies are right there posted, and you know, more for sneakier tactics, because in the streets you get a lot of dirty tactics, you know what I mean? A lot of sneaky shit be going on, you know what I mean? Get set up by females, like, yeah, what's up, you guys want to party, and and then they take you guys to a spot, and you see all these guys just come out of nowhere, and damn, it's a wrap. Or just to, you know, drive around, you know, let you know, hey, the enemies are right there posted. You know what I mean? You know, tactics like that. And don't get it twisted. You know, they're also the getaway drivers. You know, stuff like that. You know, because it's more low pro. You know, cops tend to look at, you know, males. You know, look out for male. You know, car full of males never a couple. You know what I mean? You know, you guys could be walking down the block of your enemies. You got the spray can inside the bouquet of roses. Just you and her walking a bouquet of roses. The spray can's in the middle. You get it. You cross out the enemies. Bam, you put it back in there. Cops passing by. They looking for some, you know, thugs. They never suspect a couple walking with the flowers. You know what I mean? Shit like that. You know what I mean? Or it could be a firearm in the flowers. You know, as well. You know, stuff like that. You know, there's all kinds of, you know, different tactics that are used. You know, like I said, women are just like, you know, like males. They, you know, they be dumping on fools as well. They be socking fools up. I seen females lay out motherfuckers. You know what I mean? No lie. I seen homegirls bomb on fools. You know what I mean? Remember, they coming from the gutter too. They're coming from the same type of background that we're coming from. The same chaos and madness that creates this anger and hatred and all of that. Also with females happens the same way. It brews them the same way. You know what I mean? They're just as vicious. You know what I mean? And just as loyal as well. You know what I'm saying? But not all. You do have, you know, one of the biggest kryptonites of a female is they do end up sometimes dating the enemies. That does happen. You know, a woman's not going to control who she falls in love with. You know what I mean? Males have more of a testosterone, so we're more, you know, I'm not saying all of them, but, you know, a lot of them do end up doing that. You know, a lot of women also flip on homies. You know, they spill the beans. A lot of homegirls, you know, tend to, you know, like, end up going with the enemies and burning homies out, and stuff like that does occur. You know what I mean? But also it occurs with males too, so we can't just say that it's just females that do that, because you see there's vatos that be acting like that too. But yeah, it tends to happen more with females than not. That's what I'm saying. They're your greatest weapon and also your greatest weakness. That's why you see more male gang members than you do females, because a lot of homies are skeptical. A lot of homies don't like, you know, females in their hoods. That's why some hoods have females in them, some don't. You know what I mean? But like I said, you do have some righteous ones out there that are loyal to the soil, to their turf, and their blocks. You know what I mean? That are not just seen as, you know, skanks or anything like that. They're seen as just homies from the hood, just like, you know, another individual is. You know, you don't use them for like sex purposes and stuff like that. People have been watching too many movies just because you see them like in Blood Out. You see these vatos just grabbing the hyenas. Come here. Try to do that to a homegirl from the neighborhood before you're gonna get pistol whipped. I'm just being real, my boy. Try to be acting like that with a homegirl, my boy. She gonna put a bullet in you. You know what I mean? You know, you think a homegirl's gonna want you just looking at them like some kind of piece of ass? Yeah, right. Good luck with that, homie. Like I said, they could just get as vicious just as men do. You know what I mean? So for homies to be thinking, you know, does it happen around where they end up dating some of the homies? Yeah, it does happen. You know what I mean? Not as much as people think it does, but yeah, it does occur. You know what I mean? But yeah, to be like sleeping around or whatever. And I do often hear this thing where it says like you'll have your homie sleeping with the homie's wife and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that doesn't happen. It's rare that it happens, but occasionally it does happen. It's rare though. It's rare. Like I said, isn't it, I personally never seen it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's gonna be looked upon. You're gonna be frowned upon, you know, by your homeboys. Like if homeboys find out that you're sleeping with the homies, hyena, whatever, you're gonna get your ass whooped, my boy. You gonna get that beat down. You'll catch that beating, homie. You know what I mean? Homies are not just gonna be tolerating that. And if your hood does tolerate it, I don't know, my boy. Then I don't know what kind of structure you guys are running. You know what I mean? There's no because that's not. You have no loyalty. You know what I mean? You have no respect for your fellow homeboy. That's a damn shame. You know what I mean? If homies just allow that stuff, you know what I mean? We don't tolerate it. You know what I mean? You know, because if an individual's like that individual's no good. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. You know, if a homie be doing that, that individual doesn't know what loyalty is. You know what I mean? How could you be loyal for something when you got no loyalty? And that right there, you know, shows it. You know what I mean? That an individual that thinks like that is no good, homie. And I'm just being one hundo. You know what I mean? You know, because homies are not just gonna be like, yeah, cool, you know, this was sleeping with that fool. Yeah, all right, that's their business. No, you know what I mean? Especially if a homie's busted. You know what I mean? And I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? That's more of like the mentality that people just think that occurs. You know, and I'm not saying that it doesn't. Like, it's rare that it'll happen. But if it does, it does. Like I said, I don't know. You know, neighborhoods are different. Some neighborhoods, I guess, I don't know, they tolerate it or not. I personally have never, you know, heard or seen nothing like that. You know, I heard stories, but like I said, I personally don't know. And I'm just being 100 because that's no bueno, homie. You know what I mean? Yeah, but so as in, you know, it would occur like if the homegirl like does happen. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen where the homegirl doesn't date some of the homies with her. But like I said, it's not just seen as that. You know what I mean? They're seen as just like another homeboy. You know what I mean? That's how they're just seen as like another homie. And that's just the real talk about it. You know, because there's a lot of misconception. Like I said, you know, and I think movies, you know, tend to you know, create those misconceptions. You know, and I try to tell people, you know, just because it came out of your favorite movie doesn't mean that that's how it goes down. You know what I mean? Maybe some things, you know, they got right, but a lot of things they get wrong. And that just happens to be one of them. You know what I mean? It's more like a gangster thing, but I'm just saying, you know, this is a quick one. You know, just breaking down that, you know, the difference. If Shadow, we out.